Okay. Hey, I'm Paul. Sorry, the presentation apparently doesn't work, so I have no slides to show at the moment. I'm founder of Hero, and this is a decentralized betting platform. And before that, I worked on HeroSphere, which is a betting platform for esports. Does anybody know what esports means or what esports is? So just give me hands. Okay, so I would say 20–30% know about it. Esports is basically professional computer gaming. So teams are lined up as in traditional sports, but instead of playing soccer or American football, they are playing computer games. So there's mainly a stage, 5 computers on the one side, 5 computers on the other side. People are playing against each other. In the middle there's a screen, and online there are at the peak more than 40 million people are watching these esports tournaments. The prize money goes up to $10 million. So that's where we are coming from, and we created a betting platform for esports. So why we started the whole thing? We think traditional sports betting is kind of disappointing because it sets me as a sports fan up against the bookmaker. I have to bet the company, but I'm a sports fan. I like to challenge my mates, my sport colleagues, and not to be set up against the bookmaker. And if I bet at the company website, probably if I bet like 10 times, my money will be gone and will be moved to the company. So that's why we now created the Hero. This is an ecosystem which enables peer-to-peer betting. So you could join your challenge your working colleague, create your own group for your friends, or you can challenge the whole community in our ecosystem. And yeah, if one guy loses, the other guy wins. We just provide the platform. And therefore we created an own token. It's called Hero. It's based on Ethereum. The whole token is a ERC20 token, and it has an API for other smart contracts to enable, for example, fantasy, poker, and normal sports betting peer-to-peer. Just to give you an idea of the sports betting scene. Online sports betting has occurred or was developed in the late 90s. And since then, so we have probably 20 years till now, it hasn't changed much. Basically every sports betting company in the world is using the same system. And there's a lack of innovation. They just distinguish between the brands, the colors, how they do the marketing. And what they basically do, if I bet against, let's say, you, we watch a football game, right? And we make a bet, who is going to have the kickoff? So I say, I put 20 euros or dollars on Bayern Munich. You say, okay, Real will have the kickoff. If you win, you will get $40, right? That's the deal. 50-50 chance. If I lose, you win the $40. Online, there's the bookmaker in between, so the company. And what they say, no, you can do it on our platform, but we won't give you $20 if you win. We get 20% we keep, and the rest is then for you. So you bet against the company. And I think this is really unfair conditions nowadays. And we started the whole project 2014, and nowadays we really have the technology and the community with the blockchain to enable such a system where you don't need to trust the bookmaker. You don't need to trust that the money will be paid out afterwards when you place your bet, even if you win. Some betting providers, they don't pay out the money. It's easy as that. And also, a lot of the betting providers will realize if you're like a good gambler, if you make good predictions, good bets, they will lower your amount. You're not allowed to bet $500, $100 anymore. You only can place $5 because they want people who lose and not people who win. And altogether, they have high margins. It's controlled by one company, by one authority. And the costs are, as I said, 20%, up to 20% they will keep. It's ridiculous nowadays. So that's why we create the Hero ecosystem, to give people an ecosystem. They can challenge the friends, the communities. The costs are significantly lower. And you don't need to trust us. Everything is open source. Everything is made on smart contracts. So you know what you get, And you can also be sure that afterwards the payout will be made, and everything is transparent on the blockchain. And what we are doing, as I said, we are an esports platform. So we are using our own token for our platform. That's the first use case. But we also create APIs so that traditional betting providers, if they want in the end to raise the level of trust, they can adapt the hero. They can also attract it to the crypto community, and that's a very good thing. And one more thing to that, I think there's a reason why in the last 20 years we haven't seen much innovation in the betting industry. Because to set up a betting system, it needs a lot of marketing. So at least $10 million to create a betting company, to get it out on the market, even if the system is very old, where it's mostly marketing costs. And as I faced it in 2014, most of the startups, they don't have the capability, money-wise, to have that marketing budget to get it out. But, and that's the good thing, with the blockchain community, people all around the world funding such projects because they want to have it. And we have seen already like Augur, Gnosis, I don't know how you're familiar with the token models out there, but they have now a market capitalization with 100 million, 200 million plus. So suddenly those startups, these brand new companies who want to change the whole environment, they get money and they have the power and the capability to create the system that normally a startup couldn't do. So what most of these companies do is make an ICO. I think most of you probably are familiar with an ICO. Who never heard about ICO? Great. So yeah, that's what basically the companies do. So they let the community contribute to develop such systems. And we are doing actually the same. So next Tuesday, our ICO will start. And yeah, we're looking forward to start it. And yeah, so I think it's time that the betting industry also faces a boost of trust and transparency. And as in many sectors, it's the aim to cut out the middleman and give the control to the people. So it's not, in the future there won't be one centralized authority enable all the bets, but there will be an ecosystem which people can trust in, rely on, and they can use it. And yeah, maybe I can, if I don't have a presentation, at least I can show you a short video about our project. So if you kindly could show it. One last point I want to add. So what the coin basically does, a normal betting provider takes up to 20%. Our coin collects from every game that is played, every pot that is played. 1% will be collected, goes out of it, and goes back to all the coin holders. So the community benefits the bigger our ecosystem gets. So if you're a coin holder, even you don't play yourself, you get a small portion as a reward, the bigger our platform gets. Also, a small part of the pot will be taken out to benefit the game creators. So everybody who wants to create a betting game on our system will earn a smart part of all the money that goes into the system. So everybody basically who puts effort, work in the system will be rewarded, and that's very unique. And in total, the fees are much, much smaller still than the normal betting providers. Yeah. And if the video works, we will see. Okay, we don't have a sound, so you can just get the idea. No, I'm really happy if you're interested in the whole change we aim to achieve in the betting industry. Just, yeah, I will be happy to answer your questions and connect with you after the speech. Yeah. So sorry that the presentation didn't work and we don't have any sounds. Probably my mistake, or bad preparation, or the USB stick has any fault. So sorry for that, but thanks for your time. And if you have questions, happy to meet up afterwards.
У кого есть вопросы? Да.
Okay, so as I said, we're now creating the Hero coin. This is brand new, so it will be launched next week, Thursday on the ICO, and then it's the first time we give away the Hero coin. On our esports betting platform, which will implement the coin as a first use case, we have now more than 200,000 users within less than 9 months. So it's quite a good traction, 200,000 users. And active users monthly around 30 to 40K each month. That all within eight months, basically.
What about cash in and cash out of the betting and get my price, for example?
Yes. So first you can buy the hero now in the ICO, the coin. You can later on buy it on exchanges for real cash. Then you take the hero, bet on the events you want to choose, either on our side or on other betting providers picking up the hero, and then you will just receive your winnings. So what we have is a very, very common contest on our side. We will let the people place predictions, right? So you predict this game will end 1-0 for that team and so on. And every time you predict it right, you collect points. In the end, you have a ranking where you see how good you have been against the other guys by collecting right predictions and points. And 50% of the people will just double out. So if you're better than the average, if you put in 1 coin, you get 2 coins out. That's it. Minus the 1% for the crowd. Yeah, this has to be done firstly on the exchanges. So on our system, you can just bet with the hero, you get heroes back, and then on the exchanges, you can exchange it to bitcoins, to euro, whatever. Later on, we're also planning to make a real interface that also not the crypto community, but everybody who has euros or dollars can bet directly with euros and dollars on our platform. This will be an API through exchanges. So as a guy who is not into crypto, you put dollars on the bet, we calculate it in euros, and then we exchange the euros automatically afterwards if you win back in dollars and you receive it. But we won't do it ourselves. We're working on an API with some exchanges to do so because we don't want to be a bank and exchange ourselves.
How data about game events go into blockchain?
Pardon?
How data about game events get into blockchain?
It's a good question. There are several approaches. One is that it's called like the wisdom of the crowd, that people after the game is ended can vote themselves. And if you have enough people, it will sure have the right outcome, right? So people can decide, vote afterwards, which team has won, and that's then the result. And people who, of course, choose the right game also get rewarded a little bit for, say, this was the result. But this takes a bit of time, and this is not very interesting for live betting. For live betting, we are now in talk with data providers, but the data won't go through our platform. We now are working on a product, and this is technically possible, that the data directly from the providers go into the blockchain and is there. So also transparent and visible for everybody and not through our platform. That's a good question. I think it's also a bit of focus because we see like Orgo and Gnosis, they're focusing a lot of prediction markets, and yeah, I don't know how feasible they will be in the end. They have also a bit of scientific approach to the whole thing, and we're really focusing on the betting industry. So what we're trying to solve is betting, poker, fantasy. That's all. What's also a big difference, I think, most of the ICOs and projects we have seen so far are white paper based. So you don't know if 1 or 2 years they will deliver a final product. We are working based on a product on a platform with already 200,000 people, and within the next 4 months it will be playable with the hero on our platform. So that will be very quickly. What we're then going to add is the smart contracts for all the games. So basically, eventually the whole platform will be decentralized. Not only the payment and the hero and the dividend, that's from the start, but also the betting, the ranking, the points collection, the data, everything on the blockchain with smart contracts on Ethereum. What's the name? Okay, I haven't heard of them, but honestly, of course, there are quite a lot, but we think this is a better approach that we have, and also that 1% goes back to the community. Yeah, of course there are many fighting to become the one and all coin for betting. Yeah, but a lot of them honestly are just don't to offend them, but useless coins. They don't have anything. It's just a payment system, and they try to be fancy.
Okay. Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome. Thank you.